and welcome to Acting Like an Actor. I'm your host, Sophie Jordan Collins, and today we are joined by singer-turned-actress Nicole Brevard. Tiffany can be seen playing Pam Bryant on Winning Time, as well as in numerous films and commercials. She's also toured with several vocal groups overseas, and has even released her own music on platforms such as Spotify. We talk about moving from music into acting, what it's like being a stand-in on a major show, and how to stay true to your morals in a business that constantly wants you to compromise. Please welcome Nicole Brevard.
Are you rich?
Are you famous?
What have you been on?
I don't really recognize you, and neither does my mom.
Can you laugh?
Can you cry on command?
I mean, you said you were an actor, man.
What's your backup plan? Is it shattered?
Dude, I'm just acting like an actor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Acting Like an Actor. Today we are joined by the lovely
Tiffany.
We're joined
Hello.
by Tiffany today. So as usual, we are going to start off with our irritating icebreakers.
Woo!
Are you ready, Tiffany?
I'm ready. Give it to me.
Alright, let's do it. If you were a condiment, what would you be?
Thousand Island sauce. Wait, house sauce. Is that the name for it? What's the spread that goes on In-N-Out burgers? Like house sauce.
Yeah, it's a special.
Kind of like an aioli, but like, you know, like the typical American burger sauce, like that one. Does that count?
No, that does
Okay.
count. I've not had that answer.
Spread from In-N-Out.
Love that one. Okay. If you could would you rather travel to the past or to the future?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Are there any like implications with it? Like if I were to okay. I would probably travel to the past. I think it'd be really cool to have the ability just to see what happened back in the day. Maybe even like if I were to pick a decade, like it would be really cool to go like to the 1800s or something. Like I just really love Bridgerton, so I don't know, it'd be cool to see, kind of live that out, but I know it would not be like Bridgerton at all, but
Right. Yeah.
it'd be fun.
And then my last question, what is your highlight of the past week?
Ooh, oh my goodness. I started rehearsals for a show, and that's been really fun because a lot of us came back to do the show this year that were in it last year, so it was fun.
Oh, can I ask what the show is?
Yeah, we're doing a Christmas carol, so I'm singing all the Christmas music already.
Love. What company are you doing that with?
It's with the Highlands Theater.
Okay.
It's a company in the San Gabriel Valley, but pretty much we all stemmed from like the other theater companies. We've done shows together, like the Glendale Center Theater and then like Sierra Madre Playhouse. Like we both all kind of met each other then and decided to form a company and doing a show. So
Yeah, that's always fun. It's so fun to work with the same people again and again too.
yes.
All right, Tiffany, I'm gonna hit you with the big question. Do you want to tell us your story?
Oh yeah,
How
well.
you got to where you are today.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Where do I start? Well, I'm actually from California, so I'm one of the rare locals. I'm born and raised Pasadena, California. I started off, honestly, like I've been kind of performing since I was a kid, but I did some commercials as a little girl. I used to be a Pampers baby. And then did a couple Gap commercials here and there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, until I got nervous and I figured out, everyone's watching me, and I had a different, went a different direction. My mom didn't force me, but now I'm like, man, I could kick myself in the butt. I might have been further along in my career if I'd, but it's fine. I had a childhood. And then, I was doing a lot of music lessons and like singing in choirs, and then I went to, fast forward to high school, I was riding horses, and just kind of my life took so many different directions, I feel. My mom is a single mom. Her and I, it's been just us two our whole lives, so pretty much my whole life, and people equate us to like the Gilmore Girls, like we're best friends. Yeah, so she's just always been a huge support to me, like in my journey. And then fast forward from high school, I did a lot of musicals, a lot of musical theater, choirs.
In high school? Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of that, a lot of community theater, and then I thought I wanted to be on Broadway, and so then I transport to college, and I went to the farthest place possible in Indiana, which is why. People are like, why'd you go there? But there was a music business program there, which there weren't many at the time. And one of my favorite artists, his name is John McLaughlin. He's kind of an underrated, but like very popular. If you've seen the movie Enchanted, he sings the song So Close. But I know like every single one of his albums, and we'll see him whenever he's in concert. But he went to school there, so I decided to study music business, and then I was feeling like, oh, is this a career? Can I make money out like doing this? And gosh, I started to take communications classes, and then I started to like go more in that direction, in that field. So then I spent 2 years in Indiana, transferred to California back home, went to Biola, did broadcast journalism. Okay. So, gosh, this story I feel like is never ending. But I started pursuing broadcast journalism because I felt, oh, it's like TV. I was starting to, that's where my interest in television and, I'm like, oh, maybe I don't have to do stage, but maybe I can try out like TV, but maybe hosting. Yeah. Maybe I could make more money like being an entertainment host or a news anchor. I thought I wanted to do investigative journalism, so I was just figuring it out. Like college was the time to really figure it out. Fast forward, I went to grad school at USC, got a master's in marketing. It's like communication management with an emphasis in marketing, because I was like, oh, if I want to get a great job like working at a studio or something, I thought I wanted to like do the 9-to-5 life. Okay. So I had a couple of internships. I know.
Like corporate, or you thought in the film industry? In
the film industry still, like even in the music industry. So I at one point was an executive assistant at Sony Music for Epic Records. Okay. I know, but like long story short, it really took working there for, I think it was only there like 6 months, honestly. Working there, I was like, I don't like being at a desk this many hours. I would watch other artists come in and like, perform and all their original music. And I'm like, I'm working with these like top level like producers and at this record label, and no one has any idea that I'm a singer myself or I write music. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is going to make me depressed and unhappy the rest of my life. So then, I went full force. I went full force performing, whatever that is, music, acting, you name it. So here I am.
Here you are. No, I love that. I think that's so cool, too. You were literally watching people live your dream, and you realized, like, no, this is... And honestly, had you not worked there, maybe you wouldn't have realized that or had as much of a kick in the pants as you did. So it's kind of cool how all of that works out.
100%.
So I'm curious, would you say that your first love was music and then acting came from that? Or would you say it was acting first? Do you love them both in tandem? How does that kind of work for you?
I would definitely say music was my first love. Like, it's just... Music is something... If you're musical at all, like, it's like soul connected. Yeah. So I feel like no matter what you do, you're always going to be musical. Yeah. Like, even if whatever career path you take, like, if you have music, it's such a big part of you. Yeah. I think there's a lot of, like, studies with the brain and music and all of that. So, like, I really think, like, it's, it's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
But that first, for sure. And then, I love performing. I love stage. I love television. And so I love the acting. I love being able to transport myself into another world and really become a character, but like still have me a part of the character, but still, like be able to do that, especially like if it's a time period piece or involves an accent. Or I just love that. Like I love being able to kind of take myself out of reality. So like that's why I pursued acting. Yeah. But yeah, I think you can definitely do both. They're both my loves. Music, I think, will always have a little bit higher of a priority. But I figured, why not mesh the two? I do love being able to do both. Yeah. So with music right now, to do like the film industry, like I am doing a lot of like session vocal singing. Okay. So I've sang for different film composers, and I'm a part of a couple professional vocal groups. So we'll get hired out to sing for like, back like artists, like we'll do background vocals, or we'll get contracted out to sing like sample sounds for like different like film scores or tracks and things like that.
Really cool.
So that kind of still kept me in the world of film and TV.
Yeah.
And then like acting, you know.
Of course. They do. I think they do kind of work in tandem. Like, if you can sing and act, it's very beneficial because there are obviously certain parts you can play when you can sing and stuff like that.
Yes.
I'm curious, in terms of, like, singing, what is your goal with that? Like, do you want to, do you have kind of an end dream of, like, you want to write your own music and, like, release your own album, or are you just kind of going with the flow?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be a touring artist.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to, you know, live the road life and like sing in this bar and that bar. But I do really love singing professionally, like for like film and TV. I actually do write music. So like what I'm trying to do with it is sync licensing.
Okay.
So I'm trying to shop around the music I write. So all my original music so that it can be placed in like a TV show or a film, or maybe I'll write an intro song, or even like I guess where the acting comes into play. It's always been I'll share a little dream moment, but I would love to write music for Disney and like maybe voice a character where I could sing and I could write music and really be a big part of like that world. It could be Disney, it could be honestly any studio, Universal, anything. Like I think that's like the ultimate dream.
Yeah,
if I could get up and wear my sweatpants in a studio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then you can look at the girl sitting at the desk.
Yeah.
And you can give her a pat on the back because that was you once.
I'm like, if you have any talents, let me know now. Yeah.
No, I love that.
So,
I have a feeling I'm going to be clipping that soundbite in like a couple of years. I'm going to play it back when it happens.
Oh my gosh. Fingers crossed.
That's awesome. So you did that music thing where you like moved overseas. Can you talk to us about that little music project you did?
Oh yeah. So one of the groups I'm in, it's called Sterling Ensemble. We do a wide range of genres of music, typically classical. We do a lot of contemporary. We do some like a cappella and things like that. But we had an opportunity to go overseas to Sardinia, Italy, and do a tour and perform there. And we sang different songs in Italian and were hosted. And it's just really cool. Like, music has brought me to so many different like parts of the world. I've been to Korea because of music. Another vocal group that we had a chance to tour. So like, it's just like, that's the type of stuff I want to do. You know, if I'm going to tour, send me overseas, and you know, so it's pretty cool. I'm just very grateful for those opportunities, and you just get to do what you love, but also see the world. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know whenever work leads to travel, it's always a great thing. Work. Of course.
Work.
Can you... Okay, remind me what show you were stand-in on.
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a while. Are you allowed to say?
So it hasn't been released yet, but I've done 2. So the first one was where I've done some like random stand-in jobs, but the long-term ones, Truth Be Told, I think that was season 2. And then the recent one for Presumed Innocent, which has Jake Gyllenhaal and Ruth Negga and like a couple of people. So that one hasn't been released yet, especially since the strike, you know.
Which is over.
It's over.
We're actually recording this post-strike. That's part of the
Yes.
reason I'm able to have you on, because you're in SAG actor. So I had to do a lot of non-union actor interviews because some of them were.
That makes sense. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cool. I wanted to ask you, did you interact with any of those larger names, or did you notice anything being on set with some bigger actors when you're doing stand-in jobs? Were you able to like watch them a little bit, or not too much?
Yeah, actually, we got very close. Like as like all the stand-ins and like I would say the primary stand-ins for like I was Jake's daughter stand-in, and
Jake Gyllenhaal's daughter stand-in.
Yeah, so I was her daughter stand-in, his daughter stand-in, and then one of my other friends who was a stand-in was for his wife, who Ruth was his wife in the show.
Were you guys friends before?
We were not. We just really clicked on set.
Love that, yeah.
Everybody, and Jake Gyllenhaal stand-in also, like we all were very close to each other, and so everyone just it was really cool. We were all professional.
Yeah.
I think there's a level of like I don't really get starstruck anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, all right, like here's another, person who's very successful in their career, and we all just did our job and we were professional and worked well together. I think, it's not always going to work out on set, but like for the most part, I've been really lucky with how close everyone gets. Yeah. And that was like, I want to say 7 or 8 months.
That's
on
what
that
I thought.
project.
It was consistent. How many days a week were y'all shooting?
A lot of the times Monday through Friday. For my character, I was like 3 days a week on average, but like some weeks it was like every day. Yeah, not much on the weekends, but yeah, it was a great like weekday. Lots of hours, it got exhausting after a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was good to have a consistency as an actor who's a gig worker all the time and independent contractor. It's like those things when they come and be able to watch like, A-listers in like their element. Like I like took so much value from being able to see them work and, their different methods that they use. And sometimes the rehearsals took a little too long, but it was really cool because it was almost like a master class. Like we were sitting there literally watching exactly what, we hope to do, like on that level, that caliber. So
yeah, that's almost like such a cool stepping stone, I feel like, to like being a series regular is like being a stand-in for a series regular, because it's almost like, I don't know, I feel like that's a lot of pressure when you're just thrown into that, but now you have this under your belt where you kind of understand the funky hours and you got to do it with a little bit less pressure, which is kind of cool. I know some actors like saying things about stand-in work and stuff, but I think, take the opportunities. You can learn so much. Same thing if you're a newer actor with like extra work. I always tell people I think it's great to just get on set, be in that environment, and watch.
And I'll even say, like, if you actually are like a really good stand-in and like really do your job, there are several occasions like, and I'll like, it didn't unfortunately happen to me on that season only because there wasn't really a role that fit me, but they were trying to find me something like as a co-star. So there was opportunities to, and it's happened with Dallas, my fiance, like, and also from people on set for other shows, like the girl who was my stand-in buddy, she used to stand in on like Grownish and like Blackish, I believe, or maybe it was just Grownish, but one of those shows, and she had a ton of co-star opportunities as a stand-in. So like it's always an opportunity if you're really focused and honed in and like you show up on time, like really have that professionalism, like even going above and beyond. We would all read the lines like during the marking rehearsals. We would all read the lines. Like no one asked us to the point they started asking us to because it helped them. And then they were like, wow, like that was, the stand-in was really good, so like opportunities like that, like I think any opportunity to get on set in like especially on that level will open up a door somewhere, or even in the future, you'd never know who's watching. So true, I just I just always say, like, I know it's not, like, the most glamorous job or the most exciting, but I would recommend, like, always, without a doubt, like, anytime you have an opportunity to be on a film set with a major studio, like, take it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I agree. One thing leads to another out here. So you never know.
Literally
you never know who you're meeting, and you never know who they're going to be either. Because that PA, 5 years from now,
director.
Like, we're all trying to, we're all trying to, like, step up. It's the same thing even if, like, you're like the stand-in on set. Like, you don't know who that stand-in's going to be 5 years from now. Like,
and it's happened. It's happened. You see so many people, so 100%.
Tiffany, do you hear that?
What is that?
It's time for Mixed Feelings Minute.
Ooh!
So today we're going to chat about musical theater. Because I think some actors are a little bit hesitant, film actors, about... Actually, let's just do theater in general.
Yeah.
I think some actors are hesitant about doing theater or doing a play because they think if they do that, they can get stuck into that niche. And I know that you've done musical theater and stuff like that, and I just wanted you to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally understand that. I used to think that... it is a very different thing. Like, if like, in all honesty, I feel like stage performers almost work harder than any other actor I know. And they get paid the least. Like, it's insane the amount of hours it takes for rehearsals and being there, like, 7 days a week. It is a lot bigger than TV. Like, TV is a lot smaller and, like, more expressive in your face. Stage is more about bigger, like, body movements. And so it is different. However, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's so many, like, musical, like, movies and musical theater, like, films coming out, TV series, all of that. And so I'm like, but if you, like, there's just a certain professionalism, I think, as a stage performer, like, you, like, being on time is being late, and being early is being on time. Like, that's the common rule. And I love that, like, everyone, like, thanks each other, like, for, like, telling them places, or, like, you know, there's just a camaraderie, I feel like, with stage acting than there is more so, I would say, with TV and film. Yeah. Like, everyone's, like, really in it, and everyone's working hard, and, like, making sure they're always prepared, and, like, coming to rehearsals. And, you know, it's just really cool, a cool thing. I say any actor should do a play, or, like, if you're not much of a singer, do a play. Like, if you want to do, like, musical theater, add that extra element in. It can only benefit you the more, like, skills you have. So
I agree. It is a totally different element, but it's so beneficial, especially if you love the craft of acting. And if things are slow, like, why wouldn't you do a play? How do you take care of yourself in this crazy business? What are some things that fill you up?
Man, I love to go places like Disneyland. Yeah, so it's really fun. Like, I don't have a pass, but I do have some hookups here and there who, thankfully, I was like, you know who you are. Thankfully, like, you know, I love doing stuff like that. I love thrifting. For some reason, it's therapeutic. I could spend hours going through aisles. I'm weird.
Like that too. I need, like, if I'm gonna go thrifting, I need a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just, I can't be in a time crunch. No, I need to,
I love that. You know, I really love, you know, I have the nickname of being the cozy queen, so I really love to eat, like, cozy foods, and I love to wear, like, cozy clothes and just relax and watch a good movie, or, like, a good TV series, and, you know, just chill, maybe eat some ice cream, drink a glass of wine, you know, like, every now and then, so.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'm curious, too, for you, Tiffany, because you have such and everybody notices this, we work together, so we know a lot of the same people, but you have such, like, a sweet energy, and you're very, like, peaceful and calm. I'm curious, have you always been like that? Is that, like, something that comes natural to you, or do you have to work at that?
You know, it's so funny you say that, because I guess I, like, never noticed, but because so many people say it, I think it just must be a natural thing.
Okay.
I tend to just be, like, very easygoing. I think that's just my nature. Is I don't love drama. I just like being very easygoing and go with the flow, and, you know, it is what it is, and, you know, that's just kind of my nature in general.
Okay.
So yeah, I think even with my singing, sometimes I feel like people say, like, your voice is so soothing, like, or, like, angelic, and I'm like, it's so interesting, you know. People from the outside looking in, like, it's you know, it's interesting, people's perspectives.
Yeah, it is. So you played on Winning Time, Pam Bryant, which is kind of a big role. Can you talk to us about, like, what the booking process was like, and then what playing her was like on that show?
Yeah, so it was, honestly, if I'm being super transparent, it was a surprise to me on the day of.
Love.
Yeah, I showed up. I was just going to do background that day, to be honest. And then they're like, hey, we really need, it was between me and one other girl, and they're like, you know, it was on the cast list, and there was just us two, and they were like, we really need you guys to get up to wardrobe. Like, we don't know who we're going to pick yet. And I was like, what am I doing? And, like, well, we need someone to be Kobe's mom, and you're going to carry a baby, and, like, it was a whole thing. It's gonna be a featured moment. There weren't any lines. I was, like, really hoping. I was like, even just let me be like, it's okay, baby. Like, you know. Yeah. But, like, so, like, it was crazy because they took us to, like, where the first teamers, the principal actors, like, go and get their wardrobe, and I'm just sitting in this room. They're, like, fitting me. They're like, you need any, like, sparkling water or anything? I'm like, wow, this is a different lifestyle right now.
Yes, with lemon. Please.
Yeah, it was like with lemon and Perrier. I'm like, what's the name?
Straw.
Yeah, and a straw. But no, it was really cool. And so they ended up picking me. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I met the baby. We had to get acquainted. And so that was really cool was, the baby was screaming a lot. And I was like getting embarrassed because I was like, oh no, everyone's watching me. And this baby's screaming. I'm going to look like I can't handle children. And I was like, no, sometimes it's just, that baby was there for 3 hours, like exhausted.
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
But it was really fun. And then to have like the principal actors come up to me and thank me for being there today. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So
yeah, and again, I think just like being surrounded by that energy is so cool too.
Yeah.
That's so fun. She does have a good little spot in that too. I was looking at
Thank you.
It's a good little section. I worked with a baby as well, and the same thing happened. It was for a commercial. I was crying the whole time, and I was like, I swear I didn't think I was bad with children.
Right.
And I'm holding him right, but they're just moody sometimes.
yes.
Is there a project you've done that like sticks out in your mind as like, oh my gosh, that was just such an amazing project? And if so, what is it and why?
I would say there's a recent one. So I did this really fun Stanley Steamer commercial.
Oh, fun.
I know it's a funny one. I was casted as the role of Cleopatra, and I had to roll up into a carpet. And
you did, physically.
I did physically roll up into a
love.
carpet. And that was pretty fun. It was down in San Diego, so we shot, a little bit out of LA. But just that whole process, it was just such a funny comedic.
Yeah.
We all had such a great time, like laughing, and I'm so grateful for those like moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will never forget my self-tape. I actually rolled up into a blanket for my self-tape. So like a little self-tape advice, I feel like you should just always like think outside the box.
It's always the self-tapes where I'm effing weird that
Yeah.
I look. Like
I literally didn't even care.
the ones where I'm like, I'm so over this, I hate it, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna throw this cape on and I'm gonna be weird and I'm gonna send it in, and then
Yep.
it's like you get the phone call and it's like, oh,
You're
that
like,
worked.
oh, okay, great,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
So
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm also curious, I feel like, and you might disagree with me, but I feel like you're very good at balancing like life and having fun with the business. I don't know, I just feel like, again, you give off an energy that you like have your ish together, and I'm curious if you feel
Thank
like
you.
that, or if you, how you kind of balance everything, like if you have a planner, or like what you do logistically.
yeah, well, I definitely have to write everything into a schedule.
Okay.
I'm a person who hates to sit home for longer than like a full day. Like, I just can't. I'll get antsy. Like, so I'm always just around the clock, always looking for the next thing, setting up in advance to the point where maybe it's a little overwhelming. And I'm like, why do I do this to
Doing
myself
too many
all
things.
the time?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, well, but yeah, just mainly keeping yourself organized, trying to get a decent, like, consistent sleep every day, and being like, active and all of that. Like, I think that's the only way I'd be able to make it work. And also, like, so I'm not so drained that I am enjoying it, but I try to do things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
For me, I know everyone's different, but I don't just accept every single project, or I don't, like, I kind of tend to apply for, like, certain ones based off of, like, okay, like, what are the conditions? Like, obviously, what's the pay? Like, what am I doing? What's required? And I think also just the biggest one is just like, am I going to enjoy this? Is this going to be fulfilling for me? Yeah. And it's hard being an actor because you need to work and you need to do all that. So I can't be too picky, but I do try to keep those things in mind. And I tend to like put myself, I follow like what my passions are, my true passions. And try to just find whatever work is like within that and allows like the flexibility to, be able to like do everything that I love.
Yeah, that is such a good point, what you said about just picking the roles that like you feel are right for you, because I think sometimes what happens is as actors we can take everything and then we get to set and we're kind of like resenting the situation, or we're like, oh my gosh, I'm waiting around so much, it's not worth this pay, like da-da-da. We get in situations that we're not happy with because we apply to everything. So that almost makes sense that you don't do that, but you carry this joy wherever you're at because you're being more picky and only taking things that you know. That's like really smart, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I also loved what you said about just like having fun and making life fun, because I always hear people trying to find like work-life balance, and I almost believe there is no work-life balance. You need to make your work fun in order to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Which we're very lucky as like creatives and as freelancers, because I feel like we have more flexibility to do that. But yeah, I love that. Okay, what is your favorite part about being an actor, and what is your least favorite part about being an actor?
My favorite part is definitely becoming like a completely different character. Like just like taking yourself out of this world and like putting yourself in that world, whatever it is, in that, you know, that character, the script, and just, you know, completely, you know, being and just carefree, and you're not, you know, worried about what's going on in everyday life. And I just love that part of it. I think the thing I least love about acting is the inconsistency, obviously, because we want to just keep working. We're like, all right, this project ended, now when's the next thing? And, you know, so that's why so many people, I'm sure, during this strike, like, were, you know, twiddling their fingers and antsy. But, yeah, everything else I love about it. I think sometimes, like, and maybe this is a little, everyone's got a different opinion on this, and it could be controversial, but, like, as a female, the other thing I don't love about acting is just this expectation that, like, women tend to have to put out a little bit more than, you know, and so, like, I'm one that, like, I won't just at the drop of a hat do whatever, like, okay, yeah, like, you know, take your top off, you know, like, I always have to look at the context and all of that. I just feel like there's a lot more, it's a lot harder for, like, females to, like, you know, to, like, in the industry, like, say no. If you say no, it's like you're worried about the stigma of, like, okay, well, she's, like, not really hard easy to work with because, like, she's not willing to do A, B, and C, and it's like, no, stick to your, like, morals, stick to your values, like, and if you do like doing that, that's, you know, that's great for you too. So, like, it's like, but whatever it is for you, like, this industry, don't let it swallow you up. Whatever it is, not just females, females, like, everyone, like, do whatever your, like, morals and values, whatever your morals and values are, like, do whatever is, like, contributing to that, and, like, don't, like, let go of that. Just understand and trust that you're always, like, the next job will come, and that, like, you just let that one go. You let that one pass. Like, you can't just, you know, give up everything you care about because you're so fearful of not, you know, booking something. Yeah. So it's not going to be worth it. If you lose yourself to this business, there's no way it's going to be worth it. Yeah. I really love what you said, though, about being clear about what you will and won't do. Because I think sometimes people are not clear with themselves. Yeah. And I genuinely think, like, write it out, or just, like, know really strongly in your head what you will and won't do. Because on set, they are going to throw things like that at you. Like, can you take your top off? Or are you okay being in lingerie in this scene? And it's like, if you're not ready with those answers, you might be like, you're just like, okay. Well, sure, yeah. I honestly, like, I won't talk about it now, but I had an experience when I was, like, 18 where I, like, basically did a sex scene where I, like, took my top off and stuff like that. And because I just didn't know. You had no idea. You're new. And I didn't know that, and, like, my back was to camera and stuff, but it was super unprofessional, non-union stuff like that. And I just didn't know, and they asked me, and I was like, I'm here getting paid, so I'm going to do it. I wasn't clear with myself, so... Yeah, you have to be. And letting your agents know. Like, I from the get-go when I signed, like, they even asked me. They were, luckily I have agents that care about that. So, like, they asked me, they're like, what are you, you know? Yeah. And I'll just say, like, I'm a believer. I believe in God. You know, I'm a Christian. And so, like, I told them that, and I said, you know, like, obviously, send any audition my way. I always consider the context of the story. Like, is it necessary? You know, like, things like that. Is it compromising my values and moral? Like, I'm not to the point where I won't do anything, but it's like, it really has to do with, like, what, like, will this help tell the story? Yeah. Because that's really, like, what acting is storytelling. And if it really is unnecessary to do certain things, like, and it compromises your values, then, like, and when you're honest up front with your agents, like, you know, they'll be like, hey, they always run everything by me. They're like, this has this in it. What are your thoughts? Are you okay? Also, we'll say, like, this is a great director. This is, you know, but we'll, you know, at least run it by me. And they do respect, like, what I'm willing to do and my values.
Yeah,
So
that's really good. That's really important. Okay, we are coming to a close here, but I want to know, last question before Fast Frisky 5, what is some advice to young Tiffany?
Ooh.
Let's do maybe right when you, like, moved back here, maybe after you finished, like, USC and we're going into the big world. What would you tell her?
Oh, man. I would tell her to not lose hope, that even though you have no idea, like, what direction your life is going to take, trust me, it's going to get better. Just keep pushing, just keep going, keep learning, keep growing, and eventually you'll look back and you'll see, like, how far you've come.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm like,
I know.
young Tiffany.
All right, ready for the Fast Frisky
I'm
5?
ready, give it to
Okay,
me.
if you need a little more time, you can, but this one's a thinker. Favorite quote?
For beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone.
Oh, I do love that.
Right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
She's an icon.
she is.
Okay, what is something in LA not a lot of people know about?
Oh, there's this cute town. So this is where I actually did a lot of theater growing up. Called Sierra Madre, and it's the city right next to Pasadena.
I did a shoot there
Have
once.
you?
It is so
Isn't
cute.
it like a little Hallmark town?
Yes, it is so cute.
If you want to ever escape LA, they have so you got to go to Tacos Ensenada. They have fish tacos that are super delicious, and you go on Tuesday or fish taco. Like, I think it's like $1.29 now because of inflation, but they used to be $1. But $1.29 or whatever. And then, like, they have meat tacos on Thursday. And then, like, you just walk around Mother Moo Creamery, cute little local ice cream shop. And yeah, so go to Sierra Madre and you'll see all the cute little, like, support local businesses and grocery shops and things like that. It's very, very charming.
It's a very, like, slow living type, like, suburban, lots of families.
Mountain
which is so
area.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so close to LA, but so different. Yeah, I love that. What's your favorite line in a movie?
Oh, man.
You know.
Sophie, I wasn't prepared. Let me see. Oh, probably from Mean Girls, of course. She doesn't even go here. I don't know.
Pickles, yay or nay?
Yay.
Love. That was a fast answer.
I
Recent
love
obsession.
pickles. I love fried pickles. Recent obsession. I've really been getting into, like, learning about different types of wine. So, like, I was talking to someone who's studying to be a sommelier and, like, just learning about the different types of wines. And I feel like I'm like, is this, like, my new era in life?
maybe.
I'm this old woman now, like, who cares about these things? But
Wine connoisseur.
yeah.
All right, recent obsession. Wine.
Wine.
Yeah. Okay. Tiffany, is there anything you want to leave our acting, like, an actor viewers with?
Yes. I want to encourage everyone not to give up. I have seen and heard of so many people that just want to move as soon as, like, you know, they don't get their major break. I promise you, like, with consistency, will come every single thing that you've worked so hard for. So don't give up. If you need to get certain jobs to, like, survive out here, because it's very expensive to live in LA.
You will.
You will. You'll find a way. Like, Sophie and I are both hustlers. Like, Sophie's working, like, around the clock all the time, doing everything. And, you know, I can say I'm a hustler myself. So, like, you can figure it out. Also, can always ask us, and we'll give you some advice.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love that. All right, we will catch you guys next week. Bye, y'all.